Have you ever wondered what would happen if all humans went extinct like the dinosaurs? It's a thought that might have crossed your mind at some point. After all, it's not entirely far-fetched. Our planet has seen mass extinctions before, and we, as a species, are not invincible. Let's take a moment to think about the dinosaurs. These colossal creatures, which once dominated our planet, were wiped out in what seems like a blink of an eye in Earth's timeline. Around 65 million years ago, a catastrophic event believed to be a colossal asteroid impact triggered a chain reaction of environmental changes. This caused a mass extinction, erasing nearly 75% of all species on Earth, including the dinosaurs. It was a dramatic reshuffle of life, causing a shift in the balance of the ecosystem that paved the way for small mammals, and eventually, US humans, to thrive. Now imagine a similar scenario, not with dinosaurs but with humans. What if one day, we just vanished? What would happen to the Earth then? The thought might be unsettling, but it's a fascinating scientific question. Like the extinction of the dinosaurs, the disappearance of humans would undoubtedly have far-reaching effects on our planet. The Earth, as a living, breathing entity, would react and adapt to our absence. The cities we've built, the technology we've developed, the scars we've left on the landscape and the atmosphere, all of these would undergo dramatic changes. Nature would reclaim its space, and new forms of life might emerge, just as they did after the dinosaurs. But unlike the dinosaurs, we have the power of foresight. We can ponder our own extinction and even take steps to prevent it. It's a unique ability in the history of life on Earth, and it gives us both a responsibility and an opportunity to shape our future. So, let's dive deep and explore the science behind what could happen if humans suddenly vanished from Earth. Let's embark on a journey of imagination, grounded in scientific thought, to understand our place in the grand tapestry of life. It's a journey that might just give us a new perspective on our role as stewards of this beautiful planet. In the immediate aftermath of human disappearance, the world would look quite different. Imagine, if you will, a planet suddenly devoid of its most dominant species. Our bustling cities, once filled with life and activity, would fall into an eerie silence. Without us, the power grids we've built to illuminate our world would shut down fairly quickly. Most power stations, dependent on human intervention for maintenance and fuel, would cease operation within hours to days. The world would plunge into darkness save for the glow of the moon and stars, and the occasional flicker of solar and wind energy sources. Our buildings, monuments, and infrastructure, no longer maintained or repaired, would begin to decay. Nature, ever persistent, would start to reclaim these spaces. Vines would creep up the sides of skyscrapers, trees would sprout from cracks in the pavement, and wildlife would roam freely through the urban jungles we once called home. Without the constant human activity and noise, wildlife would quickly adapt to the new status quo. Deer and foxes might be seen grazing on the grassy medians of highways. Birds, free from the threat of window collisions, would nest in the skeletal remains of buildings. Wolves and bears might wander into city centers, drawn by the scent of leftover food. The concrete jungles would become actual jungles as nature asserts its dominance. But it's not just the cities. The countryside, too, would undergo significant change. Without humans to shape and control the land, forests would expand, grasslands would flourish, and rivers would retake their natural winding paths. Our disappearance would also have an enormous impact on domesticated animals. Pets left behind would have to fend for themselves, some adapting better than others. Livestock, no longer tended to, might break free from their enclosures, forming feral populations. It's a grim thought, but it's the reality of a world without us. But that's just the tip of the iceberg. What about the long-term consequences? In the next part of our journey, we'll delve deeper into the future, exploring what might happen to Earth and its remaining inhabitants in the years, decades, and even centuries following humanity's sudden exit. As centuries pass without humans, Earth would undergo significant transformations. This isn't just a possibility, it's a certainty. The planet's natural systems would kick into high gear, reclaiming the land, air, and water that we've borrowed for so long. Imagine forests, those lungs of our planet, regrowing with a vigor unseen in millennia. With no humans to cut them down for timber or clear them for agriculture, trees would once again become the dominant life form on land. Over centuries, the concrete jungles of our cities would be replaced by actual jungles teeming with life. And it's not just the trees that would flourish. With humans out of the picture, the dynamics of animal populations would shift dramatically. Animals we've hunted or displaced would bounce back, reclaiming their old habitats. predators would return to the top of the food chain, and the cycle of life would continue, uninhibited by human interference. The absence of humans would also have profound effects on the world's climate. Without our factories belching out greenhouse gases, without our cars spewing exhaust into the air, without our insatiable appetite for energy, the rate of climate change could slow down significantly. The ice caps might even start to regain their former size, and the oceans could begin to cool, helping to restore the delicate balance of marine ecosystems. Of course, these changes wouldn't happen overnight. It would take centuries, even millennia, for the Earth to fully recover from the impact of human activity. But recover it would, given enough time. In the grand scheme of things, our species is just a blip on the timeline of Earth's history. We're newcomers on the scene, and if we were to disappear, the planet would carry on without us. It might even be better off. So Earth would likely recover, but what about our traces? Would they vanish too? Despite our disappearance, the legacy of humans would linger for quite some time. Picture this: centuries, even millennia after our departure, the Earth would still bear the indelible imprints of humanity. From the depths of our oceans to the farthest reaches of space, we've left traces that may outlast us. Take plastic pollution, for instance. The plastic waste we've generated is so vast that it's estimated to take anywhere from 400 to 1,000 years to decompose. Long after our cities and monuments have crumbled, the remnants of our throwaway culture would still be scattered across the planet. From the deepest ocean trenches to the highest mountain peaks, the vestiges of our single-use plastic obsession would serve as a haunting reminder of our presence. Then there's the specter of nuclear waste. The radioactive materials we've produced have lifespans that dwarf the existence of human civilization itself. Some of these substances, like plutonium-239, have half-lives of over 24,000 years. This means that even tens of thousands of years into the future, our nuclear legacy would still be palpable, silently radiating from the places we once called home. But our reach extends beyond the confines of our planet. Our space probes, like Voyager and Pioneer, are on a one-way trip into the cosmos, carrying with them golden records that encapsulate the story of humanity. These spacecraft, hurtling through the vast emptiness of space, might be the last traces of our existence, serving as lonely testaments to a species that once looked up at the stars and dared to venture forth. So even if we were to vanish tomorrow, echoes of our existence would reverberate across time and space. From the plastic strewn across our planet to the radioactive isotopes decaying in our soil, from the space probes hurtling through the cosmos to the messages they carry, we've etched our presence into the fabric of the universe. Human extinction would indeed leave a mark, but life on Earth would continue in our absence. So, what have we learned about a world without humans? In our exploration, we've journeyed through the immediate aftermath of a hypothetical human extinction, delved deep into the long-term consequences, and reflected upon the lasting traces and legacy of humanity. As we've seen, the world without us would be a vastly different place. In the immediate aftermath, cities would crumble and nature would reclaim our spaces, erasing most traces of our existence. Infrastructure would decay, and our homes, monuments, and creations would eventually succumb to the relentless forces of time and nature. Yet some of our more robust structures might persist as ghostly reminders of our once vibrant civilization. In the long run, the resilience of nature would be truly astonishing. With no humans to disrupt ecosystems, animal and plant species would flourish, evolving and adapting to fill the gaps we've left behind. The Earth would heal, its self-regulating systems working tirelessly to restore balance. Yet it would be a world shaped by our influence, carrying the indelible imprints of our actions. Our legacy would be a curious one. While our physical presence would fade, the impact of our actions, particularly our contribution to climate change, could echo for millennia. We've also left a lasting mark in the form of our creations. From the plastic in our oceans to the satellites orbiting our planet, these would serve as enduring, if not always positive, reminders of our existence. And so, we return to the present, with a renewed understanding of our place in the world. We are but transient occupants in the grand timeline of Earth, yet our actions hold profound implications for both our future and that of our planet. While human extinction is a grim topic, it underscores the importance of our role as stewards of this planet. So, let's make our presence count for the better.